You're 28 years old. You're a Steiner. Wrestling royalty flows through your veins. You've decimated everyone in your path. You've held championship gold. You've speared legends. You've got the entire WWE Universe believing you're the next big thing. And then, in the span of just 3 months, everything crumbles. This is Bron Breakker's nightmare, and folks, it just keeps getting worse. Let me paint the picture for you. October 2025. Bron Breakker is riding high as a member of The Vision, the most dominant faction on Monday Night Raw. He's aligned with Seth Rollins, the World Heavyweight Champion. He's got Paul Heyman in his corner, Bronson Reed as his enforcer. Everything's looking up. The road to WrestleMania is paved with gold, and Breakker's name is written all over it. Then Seth Rollins does what Seth Rollins does. He opens his mouth. Standing in that ring in Perth, Australia, fresh off his crown jewel victory, Rollins tells the world he doesn't need anybody. Not Paul Heyman, not Bronson Reed, not Bron Breakker. Everything he's accomplished, he did it alone. You could see it in Breakker's eyes. That was the moment. The switch flipped. Because when you're a genetic freak, when you're a second-generation destroyer who's been told your entire life that you're destined for greatness, you don't play second fiddle to anyone. So what does Breakker do? He makes the most brutal business decision of his career. CM Punk wins the #1 contender match. The Vision storms the ring. They're laying waste to everyone. And just when it looks like they're standing united, Breakker turns. One devastating spear. Seth Rollins is on his back. Breakker stares down Bronson Reed and gives him the choice. You're either with me or against me. Reed chooses Breakker. Tsunami splash. Seth Rollins is broken. The Vision has imploded, and Bron Breakker just announced to the entire world that he's done being anyone's muscle. He's ready to be the guy. This should have been the beginning of Breakker's ascension. Think about it. You've got the perfect heel turn. You've got Seth Rollins, who needs surgery on his rotator cuff, written off television. You've got a clear path to the World Heavyweight Championship. You've got CM Punk, the champion, right there in your crosshairs. January 5th, 2026, first Raw of the new year, Brooklyn's Barclays Center. Bron Breakker gets his shot. And for the first half of that match, Breakker dominated. He threw CM Punk around like a rag doll. Power moves, explosiveness, that top rope dive through the announce table that had the entire arena on their feet. This was supposed to be Breakker's coronation. At 28 years old, he was this close to becoming one of the youngest world champions in history. But
wrestling has other plans. CM Punk, the veteran, the craftiest wrestler on the roster, does what he does best. He survives. He weathers the storm. And when Breakker goes for one more spear, Punk counters with a knee to the face. Go to sleep. 1, 2, 3. Bron Breakker loses his first opportunity at World Championship Gold. But that's okay, right? There's still the Royal Rumble. Win that and you main event WrestleMania. You become world champion on the grandest stage of them all. That's the story. That's always been the story for rising stars in WWE. Breakker draws number 2. Number 2? That's legendary territory. Shawn Michaels, Rey Mysterio, names that have won from that position. Breakker's got this. He doesn't even make it to the ring. A masked figure in a hoodie attacks him at ringside. Stomp on the concrete. Breakker's dazed. He stumbles into the ring, and Obafemi, the #1 entrant, tosses him out like yesterday's garbage. 30 seconds. Maybe less. That's how long Bron Breakker's Royal Rumble lasted. The masked attacker? Heavily implied to be Seth Rollins, the man he betrayed, the man he speared, the man he thought he'd written off television for good. Revenge is a dish best served cold, and Rollins just served it ice cold in front of 60,000 people. So what does Breakker do? What any competitor would do when they've been embarrassed on the biggest stage? He shows up to Raw the next night and he loses his mind, destroys the announce table, gets in everyone's faces. Adam Pearce has to throw him out of the building. And that's when things go from bad to catastrophic.
The table flip? It caused a serious hernia. Not just any hernia. According to multiple reports, this wasn't something that could be fixed with minimally invasive surgery. This wasn't a simple laparoscopic procedure. This was a major operation. By Wednesday of that week, the decision was made. Bron Breakker needed surgery. Immediately. Now, typical recovery time for hernia surgery? 4 to 6 weeks if it's routine. You might miss a month, maybe 6 weeks. You'd be back before Elimination Chamber. You'd definitely be back for WrestleMania. But Breakker's situation? It's not routine. Dave Meltzer, one of the most respected voices in wrestling journalism, broke the story. Breakker's out indefinitely. The surgery was more extensive than anyone anticipated. Recovery time? Could be 12 weeks. Could be 6 months. Nobody knows for sure because his situation was worse than the regular surgery. Let that sink in. 6 months.
That means Bron Breakker might miss WrestleMania, the biggest show of the year, the show where stars are made, the show where main event players cement their legacies, and Breakker, who was this close to being in the championship picture, might be watching it from home. Think about what he's lost in just 3 months. He betrayed Seth Rollins and took over the Vision. He earned a world championship match against CM Punk. He dominated that match. He entered the Royal Rumble with a legitimate chance to win. And now, he's on the shelf with an injury so severe that WWE won't even give a return date. The worst part? This isn't a torn ACL from landing wrong. This isn't a concussion from a botched spot. This isn't even an injury sustained in the ring. Breakker got hurt because he was frustrated, because he was selling his anger and disappointment, because he flipped a table in a fit of rage. Wrestling is a business of what-ifs and could-have-beens, and right now, Bron Breakker is living through one of the cruelest what-ifs in recent memory. Here's what we know. WWE is reportedly optimistic he'll be back in time for WrestleMania. Sources within the company believe in Breakker's long-term future. They should. The guy is a genetic freak. Son of Rick Steiner, nephew of Scott Steiner, the man can do things in that ring that people his size simply shouldn't be able to do. That spear? It's one of the most devastating moves in all of wrestling. His intensity is off the charts. His upside is limitless. But potential means nothing if you can't stay healthy. And right now, while CM Punk and Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes and Gunther are building toward WrestleMania, while storylines are being written and programs are being set, Bron Breakker is in a hospital bed recovering from surgery. The Vision turned on Seth Rollins to seize control of their own destiny. Breakker challenged CM Punk for the world title to prove he belonged in the main event. He charged into the Royal Rumble ready to punch his ticket to WrestleMania. Every step was calculated, every move was a power play, and yet, here we are. One flip table later, and everything is on hold. If you've been following Bron Breakker's journey, if you believed he was the next big thing, if you thought this was finally his moment, drop a like on this video. Let me know in the comments what you think happens next. Does Breakker come back stronger than ever? Does he win the championship at SummerSlam instead? Or has this injury derailed what should have been his breakthrough year? And please, if you're not already subscribed to WrestleCore, hit that subscribe button. We're covering every twist and turn of this story, and when Bron Breakker returns, you're going to want to be here for it. Because when he does come back, when he gets cleared, the entire landscape of WWE is going to shift. Bron Breakker had the world in his hands. World Championship opportunity, Royal Rumble, WrestleMania main event, all of it right there, waiting for him. And then one table flip changed everything. It gets worse for Bron Breakker. And right now, nobody knows when it gets better. Until next time, this is WrestleCore. Stay hungry, stay ready, and never, ever underestimate how quickly everything can change.